Welcome to Success Path Academy. The following questions on animals covers a variety of topics including animal types, habitats, behaviors, and fun facts. What is a habitat? Answer: the place where an animal lives. Which habitat is home to lions, elephants, and zebras? Answer: savanna or grassland. What kind of habitat do polar bears live in? Answer: Arctic or polar region. Which habitat is filled with salt water and home to whales and sharks? Answer: ocean. Where do camels usually live? Answer: desert. Which animal lives in a pond? Answer: frog. What is the main habitat for monkeys? Answer: rainforest or jungle. Which animal makes its home in a burrow underground? Answer: rabbit. What kind of habitat do penguins live in? Answer: polar region or Antarctic. Which animal lives in the forest and builds dams? Answer: beaver. What is the main habitat for kangaroos? Answer: grassland or Australian outback. Which habitat do dolphins live in? Answer: ocean. Where do cacti mostly grow? Answer: desert. Which animal lives in a coral reef? Answer: clownfish. What kind of habitat do owls prefer? Answer: forest or woodland. Which animal lives in a wetland? Answer: alligator. Where do most snakes live? Answer: forest, desert, or grassland. Which habitat do flamingos live in? Answer: wetlands or lakes. What is the main habitat for elephants in Africa? Answer: savanna. Which animal is known for living in the Arctic and having thick white fur? Answer: polar bear. Or grassland. What kind of habitat do sea turtles live in? Answer: ocean. Which animal lives in a den in the forest? Answer: fox. Where do walruses live? Answer: Arctic or polar region near the sea. What is the main habitat for gorillas? Answer: rainforest. Which animal lives in the desert and is known for its humps? Answer: camel. What kind of habitat do bison live in? Answer: grassland or prairie. Where do clownfish make their home? Answer: coral reef. Which animal lives in the ocean and has 8 arms? Answer: octopus. What is the main habitat for sloths? Answer: rainforest. Which animal lives in the tundra and has thick fur to keep warm? Answer: Arctic fox. Where do alligators live? Answer: wetlands, swamps, or marshes. Which animal lives in a hive? Answer: bee. What kind of habitat do woodpeckers live in? Answer: forest. Where do puffins make their nests? Answer: cliffs by the sea. Which animal lives in the desert and is known for its big ears? Answer: fennec fox. What is the main habitat for moose? Answer: forest or woodland near lakes. Which animal lives in the ocean and is the largest animal on Earth? Answer: blue whale. Where do lemurs live? Answer: Madagascar rainforest. What kind of habitat do salamanders prefer? Answer: wetlands or damp forests. Which animal lives in a shell in the ocean? Answer: sea turtle. Where do prairie dogs live? Answer: grassland, prairie. What kind of habitat do puffins live in? Answer: coastal cliffs. Which animal lives in the forest and is known for building nests in trees? Answer: squirrel. Where do emperor penguins live? Answer: Antarctic, polar region. What is the main habitat for jaguars? Answer, rainforest. Which animal lives in a burrow in the desert? Answer, meerkat. What kind of habitat do seals live in? Answer, Arctic and Antarctic coasts, polar regions. Where do red-eyed tree frogs live? Answer, rainforest. Which animal lives in the grassland and is known for running fast? Answer, cheetah. What is the main habitat for crocodiles? Answer, wetlands, rivers, marshes, swamps. Where do toucans live? Answer, rainforest. What kind of habitat do prairie chickens live in? Answer, grassland, prairie. Which animal lives in the ocean and has a sharp nose called a rostrum? Answer, swordfish. Where do koalas live? Answer, eucalyptus forests in Australia. What is the main habitat for wolves? Answer, forests and tundra. Which animal lives in the desert and is known for its venomous sting? Answer, scorpion. What kind of habitat do snow leopards live in? Answer, mountain regions. Where do otters live? Answer, rivers, lakes, and wetlands. Which animal lives in the rainforest and is known for swinging from trees? Answer, monkey. What is the main habitat for puffins? Answer, coastal cliffs. Where do manatees live? Answer, warm coastal waters and rivers. Which animal lives in the tundra and is known for its white fur in winter? Answer, Arctic hare. What kind of habitat do flamingos prefer? Answer, wetlands, lakes, lagoons. Where do gorillas live? Answer, rainforest. Which animal lives in the ocean and is known for its horn-like tusk? Answer, narwhal. What is the main habitat for orangutans? Answer, rainforest. Where do kangaroos live? Answer, grassland, Australian outback. Which animal lives in the forest and is known for its black and white fur? Answer, panda. What kind of habitat do eagles prefer? Answer, forests and mountains. Where do starfish live? Answer, ocean, sea floor. Which animal lives in the desert and is known for being able to survive without water for long periods? Answer, camel. What is the main habitat for bighorn sheep? Answer, mountain regions. Where do hippos live? Answer, rivers and lakes, wetlands in Africa. Which animal lives in the ocean and is known for its singing? Answer, humpback whale. What kind of habitat do raccoons live in? Answer, forests and near water. Where do platypuses live? Answer, rivers and streams in Australia. Which animal lives in the savanna and has a long neck? Answer, giraffe. What is the main habitat for tarantulas? Answer, deserts and grasslands. Where do sea otters live? Answer, coastal ocean waters, kelp forests. Which animal lives in the rainforest and is famous for its bright colors? Answer, parrot. What kind of habitat do salamanders need to stay moist? Answer, wetlands or damp forests. Where do walruses spend most of their time? Answer, Arctic coasts and ice flows. Which animal lives in the grassland and is known for its burrowing? Answer, prairie dog. What is the main habitat for armadillos? Answer, grasslands and forests. Where do macaws live? Answer, rainforest. Which animal lives in the desert and is known for its ability to hide in sand? Answer, sandfish lizard. What kind of habitat do puffins need for nesting? Answer, coastal cliffs. Where do leopards live? Answer, forests, grasslands, and mountains. Which animal lives in the ocean and is known for its large shell? Answer, sea turtle. What is the main habitat for snowy owls? Answer: Arctic tundra. Where do flamingos build their nests? Answer: mud flats in wetlands. Which animal lives in the rainforest and is known for its loud howling? Answer: howler monkey. What kind of habitat do salamanders prefer? Answer: wetlands or damp forests. Where do meerkats live? Answer: desert, African savanna. Which animal lives in the ocean and is known for squirting ink? Answer: squid. What is the main habitat for reindeer, caribou? Answer: tundra. Where do woodpeckers make their homes? Answer: forests, in tree trunks. Which animal lives in the grassland and is known for its speed? Answer: cheetah. What kind of habitat do crocodiles prefer? Answer: wetlands, rivers, swamps. Where do snow leopards live? Answer: mountain regions.